Release is David Salvo. He is the Deputy Director of the Alliance for Securing Democracy and a senior fellow at the German Marshall Fund of the United States. And he's also an expert on Russian affairs, particularly Russian foreign policy. David, thanks for joining us. Do you think the prisoner swap was a fair trade?
In a vacuum, no, but I'm extremely happy that Brittney's coming home. I mean, look, Viktor Bout is one of history's most notorious arms dealers. I would have preferred that he rot in jail for the rest of his life, but this was the leverage that Russia had, and it used its hand very well. And the Biden administration really was playing a weak hand here. It wanted to bring Brittney home justifiably, and this was the only card that the Russians were going to play. So there was little that the administration could do but to ultimately give up Viktor Bout.
Yeah, and why do you think that Russia wanted Viktor Bout back so badly?
Well, he is the highest profile Russian prisoner, or was, I should say, the highest profile Russian prisoner in American prisons. And he has links to Russian intelligence, Russian security services, Russian military. He couldn't do what he did, selling arms all over the world and leaving his imprint on conflicts all over the globe without connections to the Russian security services. So it's obvious why they wanted him back for all these years.
Well, David, it sounds like at some point it was possible that Paul Whelan was on the table as well. Do you think it's possible Washington will eventually be able to work out a deal to get him back?
I really hope so. I mean, talk about another guy who's in Russian jail unjustifiably. What Russia's doing, by labeling Paul as a spy, what they're trying to do is, again, extract leverage for a future deal where, we may at some point have another prisoner swap where we send a Russian intelligence officer that we may imprison at some point back. So the Russians, I mean, it's horrible to say, but it's smart on their side. They're trying to extract leverage again for a future deal. They know that we want Paul to come home, and they also knew that we were going to cave to anything to get Brittney home. So they took Paul off the table. It's sad. He's a pawn in this game, and I feel for his family, but I am optimistic that at some point there will be something to swap him for.
Well, you talked a little bit and touched on this about the prisoner swap being maybe not the fairest, considering Viktor Bout's history. Was it a bad trade, and could it possibly incentivize the arrest of more Americans to be used as bargaining chips?
It's hard to call it a bad trade. I don't know what any president would have done in Joe Biden's situation. I mean, this was a high-profile case here in the United States. Brittney Griner is there was a whole army behind her, the whole movement, trying to get her home, and rightly so. So there was all this political pressure, and Russia knew it. And that's why they ultimately, played hardball and tried to get their most notorious guy back home as well. But I think, I don't think it's going to incentivize other governments to take this tack. I mean, it's so rare that these things happen, and it's not like governments are just going to start picking American citizens off the street, and it would be a total disaster globally if such a thing happened. I don't think that's going to happen, and I think most administrations probably would have taken the same tack that the Biden administration did here.
So I guess moving forward then, what is the next step when it comes to the U.S. and how they still try to keep these channels open for conversation and for potential deals?
Well, this channel, I mean, this is an institutional channel that's open between the U.S. State Department and the Russian Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Look, there are American prisoners, American citizens who end up in Russian jails for all sorts of reasons, and vice versa. So it's not often that you get sort of high-profile celebrity cases, but there will be an occasion for Russia to come through that channel and make some sort of request for a deal for Russian citizens who may be in American prisons. And maybe that's not today. Maybe it'll be months or even years down the road. I hope it's as soon as possible for Paul and his family's sake. But these channels exist for a reason. This is sort of, it's not normal diplomacy, but it is diplomacy. This is the business of diplomacy. And both, there are professionals on both sides who are trying to work in their country's interests. I'm sure there will be an occasion for Russia to want to come to the table again and offer Paul as a bargaining chip. Sadly to say, I hate to use the term bargaining chip, but that's kind of where we are.
It's the reality of it, right? David Salvo with the Alliance for Securing Democracy, thanks so much for talking with us tonight at Newsy. We appreciate it.
Great to be with you.
Still ahead on Evening Debrief, Brittney Griner may be on her way home, but at least 2 other Americans are not so lucky. Why they're still imprisoned in Russia and their prospects for release. And court records have been unsealed that reveal new details in the alleged Club Q shooter in Colorado Springs and a previous encounter with the law. We'll talk about that coming up next.
Take control of your health by boosting your force field, the immune system. With the Aura Ring, you can listen to your